Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Leon, and peace out to the rest of it. So, Devon Franklin, in his 9th year of marriage, filed for divorce. Let me ask you guys something. You think that's a coincidence? Look, men like Devon usually tie the knot, and they mean it. I mean, Devon is a pastor. Now, I don't think he's just playing preacher and playing pulpit for a living. I don't know much about it. I haven't actually sat up and listened to a sermon of his. I'm not Christian. But if he was playing Christian, there would have at least been some sort of suspicion or speculation that he was playing it. Somebody would have thought so. Because, you can fool some of the people all the time, and you can fool all the people some of the time. You can't fool everybody all the time. Now, I believe that particular statement, or that adage, or that homage, that proverb, I should say. So, if he was actually just playing around, playing preacher, there's no evidence of it that has ever reached me. There's more I want to point out, if I may. Devon married Meagan Good. I don't really know much about her personal life, but others who have known more about her personal life have said that Meagan Good was all about partying, and she was pretty much a thought or close to it. And quite a few people have said that they even know celebrities with whom she has slept. Okay. That's cool for y'all. I ain't into that. But this is what y'all have been dealing with. By the way, those are my windshield wipers. We're actually having one of those rare rains in the Middle East right now, so MLS people should date each other. I know you're probably gonna ask me, hey man, what's that sound right at 2 minutes and 18 seconds in, man? You got gas in the car? Nah, that's the windshield wiper. You know the sound it makes when it drizzles, and so the windshield wiper skips over a semi-dry, semi-wet part of the windshield. But there you go. See, again, I need to change these blades. I realize that. So, anyway, stop and think about this, y'all. In California, it's a decade. Many of you know that in California, it's a decade to be married and to be a housewife to qualify for alimony. And it may be different than that. It may be that in California, you don't even have to be a housewife for a decade to qualify for alimony. You may just qualify for it because you were married for 10 years. The other one made more. I don't even know what those rules are, but whatever the case is, it's a decade to qualify. If I was him, and I knew what I know, I would have done the same thing. Remember Stephen Jackson? That man said, "You're not going to sign this." And then he found out that if she waited until under duress to sign it, it wasn't going to work. So he called off the wedding. Stephen Jackson wound up becoming Muslim. Shout out to him. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Jackson, if you ever hear this. But before he became Muslim, he told us what the deal is. And he was like, man, look, this was not going to happen. And I'm with him in that. Here's what we ain't going to do. And I'm with him in that. Remember half a year ago, a little over half a year ago, Kevin Samuels went mainstream because of World Star. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell my students from my good class, since I'm not their teacher anymore, about Kevin Samuels. I'm not going to tell them about my channel, but I'm going to tell them about Mr. Samuels. I'm going to tell them also about attorney Dennis Sperling. See, these men, I want y'all to understand, you're going to be helping some of our grandchildren, meaning some of the semi-black men around the world, even if they don't know they're black. Because We are just that. You can tell we are the ancestral people because we wind up helping other folks even when when we don't realize it, when we don't mean to. We get our stuff in order, and even though people act like we're old and played out, they still they can't help but imitate us, and I don't even blame them for it. That's what you do with your grandparents. Even when you're a kid, even when you look at your grandparents and you're like, yeah, they old. You still learn from them and wind up imitating them even if you don't mean to do it. That's our relationship with everybody else. And so Kevin Samuels went mainstream last summer, and you want me to believe that it's just a coincidence that Devon Franklin looked after he defended her because she wouldn't cover up in public, even when a woman said that in the church. So we're going to cover up, right? Oh, no, see, we're not going to do that. No, Father Mucker, that's exactly what the hell they going to do. That lady was right. She was absolutely correct, Mr. Franklin. If she really meant well, she'd cover up even more after y'all got married. Really, after she repented. If she was serious about walking with the Lord, that's what the walk she would have done. But you know what? You made the right decision later on, and I don't even think it was out of malice. Understand this, people. I don't think he went to it and he was like, well, I'm sick and tired. No, I think he just looked and said, look, are you serious about this? I believe that he understood, okay, know what these divorce laws are because we're tools to these women. And then afterwards he said, yeah, well, you know what? Let's see how serious she is. And then after that, he said, well, 10 years is coming up, and I need to know before I become eligible to have to pay alimony, even if the laws are not such that he would have wound up having to pay the alimony. I believe he looked and he said, you know what? She ain't serious. Not doing this. No hatred. We ain't doing this. I believe these men are looking and they're saying, listen, it ain't worth it to where you got to pay because you were with her. Being in a marriage or in a relationship, that ain't worth it. Because understand there's always someone else out there that can get it for nothing. And if it ain't gonna be you, you damn sure ain't gonna be giving it for nothing. This is a legitimate concern for men to have. Father, walk not. So that being said, my suspicion is that even with no malice, he looked and he said, I know things beyond just how you were. I know things about not just you as Megan Good, but I know things about you as a lady I did not know before. And simply put, there are things you would never risk for me, and I'm not going to risk these same things for you. I think you probably started looking at some Bible verses too and said, whoa, I'm not equally yoked. Let me switch that up. Gentlemen, I hope you will apply the same thing. Whatever your faith is, I hope that you will apply the same thing. That you will look and you will say, I'm not equally yoked. Because frankly, right now, feminism's creeping into religious circles. And so that's part of why it is that you've got Muslim men thinking that they've got to settle for women with higher body counts than them. And when I say high, I mean anything before marriage, because a lot of Muslim men don't fornicate. From what I can gather, a lot of them don't fornicate. You got a lot of Christian men, same thing. You got a lot of men of both faiths sitting up thinking that they got to settle for somebody with not only a high body count, but settle for some other man's kids before they have their own. Thanks for listening. Black heart, black mind, black out, and now you know why I say black heterosexual, non-select, male power just because they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.